terrible story coming out of North Carolina with 3 Muslim students murdered. There are questions about whether it was a hate crime, Chris.
Right. As of late last night, and I don't believe anything's changed. The reporting out of the state suggested that this was someone who, the shooter, had a obsession. I think is probably not too light a word, with parking issues. This couple and the sister lived in the same apartment complex with this man. He had confronted them. They had not lived there all that long, but he had confronted them multiple times about parking. They believed, one of them told their father, they believed that it may have had something to do with their religion. Both of the women wore headscarves. In the reporting I saw, they quoted other people who lived in the building who were not Muslim, who said, look, this guy confronted me too about they were parked in a visitor spot and, and I needed to move, which suggests that this may have been the work of someone who was obsessed in obviously a very unhealthy way with parking as opposed to religion.
Right.
But anytime you see something like this happen, given the climate that we exist in currently, it's going to be an open question.
It was just a really stirred something. There was the Muslim Lives Matter hashtag trending on Twitter, which obviously is a takeoff on the Black Lives Matter hashtag that, people, this clearly, hit a nerve. I don't know how many of you heard Morning Edition this morning where the StoryCorps segment was the young woman who had recorded it last year, I think, and she was talking to a teacher of hers and, sounded like, quite a lovely person.
And talking about how much she loved this country.
Yes, absolutely. So that, I think, that certainly brought it home for me.
Exactly.
And, look, for the criminal justice system, all lives matter. Justice has to be served. Anyone who's prosecuted a hate crime will tell you it is not always easy from an evidentiary point of view to establish clearly to the persuasive ability of a jury to take on that this was clearly motivated by hate. The sense in the community that this could not simply have been about parking, that you can't imagine. The human mind has a hard time, my human mind has a hard time, conflating anger or resentment over a parking space into a triple homicide of 3 delightful, by every piece of evidence we have, contributing members of their community, peaceable. All of it seems impossible. And yet the prosecutors and the police have to try to solve this in an atmosphere where there has been tremendous sympathy and a rallying of the community, and yet a very deep cry for justice.